Hello, everybody. Welcome to the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. We are your hostesses, Anna and Sandy. We are representing PCSAM.org today with this programming because we are just a bunch of humans trying to raise the vibration. Thank you for your support, everybody who has become a member recently, because it allows us to provide you this content and these services and support groups and all the fun things that we're doing. So let me tell you a little bit more about what we have going on this week. We have Matt doing his midweek vibe check, which is your weekly evening dose of sound healing and breath work. And that is half off for members. $10 suggested donation, $20 if you are a non-member, but we never turn anybody away, of course. And then on Friday, you guys, we have our first silent disco. I'm so excited. This is finally happening. Thank you to Open Doors Yoga Studio for allowing us the use of the third floor so that we can move and shake and have a little bit more space together as we explore what it means to really move through, healing through dance, like really like letting the somatic healing. I mean, I didn't really understand what somatic healing was until a couple of years ago, because I'm the kind of person that like feels everything, sometimes to a fault. But this type of workshop can really help you unlock some things that may be stuck inside of you so that you can release them in a really healthy, positive, fun way. And then Saturday, we have DJ Pollinate. And I do apologize. I think yesterday I called him DJ Pollinator, but it's DJ Pollinate coming back to the altar to raise the vibration for Soul Saturday. And then after Soul Saturday at 4:30, we have our second installment of our book club, which is actually going to be a potluck. So if you happen to notice the newsletter that I sent out on Monday, there is a spreadsheet that you can sign up if you feel called to bring something to share with the group. This will be a BYOB, BYOC, BYO Sacrament, Come As You Are event, because it's Saturday and we're going to just kind of let loose and network and hang out and have some fun studying the yamas and niyamas. And Anna is going to be our host for that this week. So thank you so much, Anna, for taking us through this first chapter, now on to the second chapter. And if you guys haven't purchased the book, there's still time. It's actually available on Audible and it's available in paperback, and it kind of serves as a journal. So there's different prompts and we can kind of come together and discuss what we have discovered in this first month. And then yeah, Anna, what do you have to add to that? Thank you for being here. I'm going to turn it over to you, and in regards to this book club, because it's our first attempt at, hosting such an event. And again, thank you so much for taking us through this. How many times have you read the book? Just out of curiosity.
Gosh, a few times I want to say, but I mean, I'm always referencing the book because it's just, if you were to look at my book, I have like notes and like postcards and little bookmarks to like mark different places. So I've really, I'm surprised I haven't ripped it yet. So
it's more like a resource book, like a field guide for life or something, right? Not like necessarily something that's meant to be picked up and read start to finish all at once.
No, I constantly pick it up from beginning to end. I've read it a couple of times. And then in the past 5 years, I've referenced it all the time. Every now and again, just like I brought in Mark Nepo books, and this is one of those books that I just pick up, and sometimes it's one of those things where you just want to pick it up and open and see what it says to you, because it's just so insightful, and everything that's in here is so relatable and can resonate at any time in life. These are really practices that are a constant application to how we live. The next chapter that we're moving into, or the next tenet, is Satya, which is truthfulness. And, what we think of truthfulness, what we encounter as truthfulness, and sometimes coming to terms with the fact that we're not living in our truth. Or why aren't we allowed to live in our truth? There's nothing
Or
wrong.
or that we're constantly creating our own truth, right? With the stories that we tell ourselves.
Yes. so we're gonna cover satya, and that is the second tenet of the yamas. There's 5 under the yamas and 5 under the niyamas, which that's why this book is so wonderful to take through the year, because I tell you, whoever got this book, you're gonna be referencing it for a long time. I mean, I have underlines and everything. It's just um, well, talking about an example of an underline, there's something that stood out to me in the tenet of Satya. Well, isn't that interesting? So I'm just going to read what I underlined in part of it. Fluidity over rigidity. Real is something we might not always like in another, but we come to know there will be no surprises. Real, though not always pleasant, is trustworthy. How about that?
Love that.
So, when we're real, that's trustworthy. Isn't that, I mean, that is powerful to say that, when we know someone is coming from a place of truth, when we know, or, that relationship between, your children and yourself, that's a truth filled relationship. They look to us for those truths, given that, sometimes we kind of have to soften the truth a little bit with our kids. But I think that when we walk in truth, we really step into the fire of who we are, this, the essence of who we are. I think that, as children, we can live in this place of not knowing, what our friends tell us the truth or not, but just being our authentic selves, so that is stepping into our truth, is being our authentic selves. How much
In
more
regards to kids, Anna, I have to say, I feel like my kids have actually taught me the truth a lot. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, they are mirrors and they are constantly teaching me, about what really matters. You know what I mean? So it's funny how it goes both ways, right?
Yeah, and it's challenging with kids sometimes, because they're once they step out into the world, there's so many influences. I've had to talk about crying wolf, right?
Mm.
When something is not really happening, and then when the truth about it really comes down to, and you're trying to speak the truth, no one's going to believe you because you're not speaking the truth. So
Mhm.
I think that sometimes our kids are a reflection of the environment that they are around, and us. And, I had to learn these truths as a kid too, um,
Mhm.
and there's so much pressure that, we put on ourselves, and the pressure that our kids feel, even though they may not quite know how to name it yet. But I think that living in our truth is one of the most valuable lessons, amongst many lessons, that we step into ourselves and, you know, teach our children. So, we are a village here, which is awesome. So we all influence each other, and I'm so grateful that we have this community where we can come, our children can come and um, share our energies, share our kids' energies. I love your children, Sandy. They're my heart. And my son loves your kids and Sarah's kids, and it's just such a wonderful community to come into. So,
Well, yeah, thank you for reminding me. That is something that I should point out, that Soul Saturday is children are welcome. We want to encourage our kids to be inspired to check out vinyl music and maybe even become a DJ. The musical director who we have right now, DJ Frantic, is amazing. He's actually going to be opening for Mark Farina on March 8th. Stay tuned for that. I think we're going to all meet and do a meditation at the church led by Sarah. And then we might even get on the Bliss bus and take it down to the Middle East and do a little church outing. But we have been dreaming up, coming up with a children's program, for DJing, for just like keeping this passion alive and, hopefully passing down this collection and donating it to the church for many generations to come. Because again, like we believe that dance and sharing our love and passion for vinyl records is another way to raise the vibration. And so thank you to Jason and Dave, the Strictly Vinyl crew, for getting this started at the very beginning, Lakeside at the founding chapel. We love to do our 4th of July, Memorial Day celebrations out in nature. So I also want to mention anybody who's a member can actually donate to the church to have the bus come with a DJ, which we now have solar panels for, so we can do complete off the grid, fundraising and vibration raising activities. And then another member benefit is the use of the sauna. So like in regards to even our children witnessing what we're trying to do for one another, like watching us take care of ourselves, we do have a secret location, sauna in Hingham. So if you become a member, you can get the keys to that little precious castle, which has an amazing massage chair as well. So you can go and get some self-care in privacy, because sometimes you don't really want to go to the gym or a spa and have to like talk to people and do the whole dog and pony show, as I say. Like sometimes you just want a minute, so if you become a member, you can book out the sauna for super affordable rates, and have like a 90-minute time for you and, to just hone in on your own self-care. It's an amazing place to meditate. They are doing some construction next door, which I assure you should be done soon, because I was in there trying to chill out. And all of a sudden, of course, it was the time that they decided to be like painting and hammering and stuff like that. But soon that'll all be done. And it's quite a sanctuary. So again, pcsam.org. We can't do this without the support of our members. And so, being able to use the bus, being able to use the sauna, being able to use the chapel. You can also sign out the safe and sacred space if you are a healer or have a workshop or a talent that you want to present to your friends and, to the rest of our community. Like we're here to learn, we're here to try new things. So again, as we grow, we'll have hopefully more and more benefits to offer. So I just wanted to mention that too.
Absolutely.
My God, it's already 1:15, Anna. We got to get doing some freaking yoga.
Yeah. So talk about.
I could just talk to you all day.
Talk about somatics, right? So I never used to really think about somatics until I grew up and heard the word, and I still didn't really know what it was. And all my life, I had been moving my body because I've always loved music, and I have been dancing since I was a little girl. I'm not a professional dancer or anything like that. I just love to move my body, and when I hear the music, my body just wants to begin to move. And that's all you need really in this somatic work. And yoga brings a lot of that movement in. That's why there's so many types of yoga. So somatic yoga, hatha, vinyasa, the movement. Let's bring it all in and come into a comfortable chair so that we can begin to move our bodies, bring some stillness into our world of maybe chaos, because remember, we are the stillness in the chaos, and we are empowered and can be empowered by creating that stillness within us so that we can bring that into a world that really needs it, including our children. So let's sit up nice and tall wherever you are. If you are lying down, sitting down, or just joining in, take a moment to take a nice deep breath in and sigh it out. You have arrived, and that is the hardest thing to do. So congratulations, and thank you for joining me, because we have done the toughest thing today, which is arriving at our seats here right now, being present with one another. So let's begin to soften our gaze and close our eyes if you're not there already. Beginning to notice how you're breathing, and just noticing maybe how your body's feeling, how your mind is feeling. Let's anchor into our breath, in and out the nose. Or if you feel like sighing it out as you inhale and then sigh it out, sigh it out. You can even bring the shoulders up as you inhale. And then on the sigh, just release those shoulders. Let's do that 3 times. Why not? Inhale, bring those shoulders up. And exhale, let them fall. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And drop the shoulders. 1 more. And let it go. So I'm going to tune us in as we breathe in, and you can join me for an om if you'd like. But I'm going to bring in the sound vibration of my voice to bring us in. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in, and you're welcome to join me on the om. Nice deep breath. Greeting you with a wonderful namaste, everyone. All right, so coming into our intentions for today's practice, fluttering your eyes open when ready, and beginning to shift the body in a circular way just to begin to move. So circle, circle, circle. And then take it in the opposite direction. And then coming to center, let's inhale the arms up. Let's press the palms together, bring that energy into heart. Inhale, let your palms rise. You can follow the palms. Exhale, press everything away, bringing the gaze back to center. Extend those fingertips to the earth, ground in. Feel the energy of the earth really come through the breath. As you exhale, really rooting in. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, press everything away, including what no longer serves you. Let's ground that left hand in, right arm up and over. And then switch sides, really reaching through that left arm and that left side body stretch. Let's relax that left arm down. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, a gentle hinge over, palms in front of you. And then really gripping without moving the palms. Just let those palms be nice and wide. Suction them to your mat. And on the inhale, we're going to lengthen through the crown. And exhale, gently pull those palms without necessarily shifting those palms towards you. Lengthen through the crown as you feel the hips reach down towards the earth. And then when you're ready, you can even round in if that's what you want to feel and it feels good to you. And then walking the hands back towards you. Inhale, reach up. Take that left hand to the right wrist and lengthen that right side body arch over to the left side. Inhale, come back to center, switch sides. On the next breath, lengthen that left arm, arch over to the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Release the hands and gentle rotations with the wrists as we float the arms down, and then shake the hands out and roll the shoulders. And then roll them forward. All right. Let's come to our backs. So let's lay down on our mat. And let's take a full body stretch. Arms over the head, just like you're waking up. Reach, reach, reach. Doesn't that feel good? And then let's bring the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. From here, hands on the knees. Let's massage the lower back. Circle circles. And then take the knees in the opposite direction. And then gently take the knees wide and then create circles. You can go counterclockwise and clockwise or opposite, any direction that you want. And then take a squeeze back in, extend for another full body stretch. All right, let's squeeze that right knee in, flex both feet. Gently take that knee towards the shoulder, slight tuck of the chin. And then let's take that left arm out and allow that knee to gently fall to the right side. Deep breath in, exhale out. Knee comes back in, squeeze in, and release, full body stretch. Reach for that left knee to chest, flex both feet. Left knee travels to the left side of the body, extend that right arm long. Bring that knee back to center, squeeze in, take it to the shoulder, and then gently bring it back in. Extend long, arms over the head, full body stretch. All right, so from here, we're gonna bend the knees and we're gonna tilt the head back a little bit and then lift the chest up slightly, tucking the shoulders underneath the body. So taking the gaze above the head by just taking the head and pressing the head, well, not pressing the head into the mat, but just gently tilting the head up, chest rises, and then you can actually extend the legs, and you can do this even with a block underneath. And another way to do this too, if this doesn't feel comfortable going into, is gently coming to the elbows, hands flat, and then allowing the chest to gently press and allowing the head to fall back. And that might not feel comfortable for everyone, so just gently find your comfortable spot, and you can actually just lean back if you're on your forearms. And then, since I'm on my forearms, let's come onto the forearms and gently raise ourselves up and come into a seated position with the knees bent. And then from here, let's go into a Baddha Konasana, a little butterfly pose. The soles of the feet are gonna come together. Let's take a little bind around our toes and allow the knees to flutter. All right, release. Knees come back up, swing the legs to one side, and then let's come into a tabletop position. So if this is uncomfortable to the knees, you can double up your mat or use a blanket, which I didn't bring with me today, so that you can cushion your knees. Remember, you can always double up mats, providing as much support as possible to your knees if this feels uncomfortable. So we're stacking the hips over the knees, feet are nice and flat, or you can curl the toes under, just if you want to feel that stretch in the toes or the feet. On the inhale, let's drop the belly, tilt the tail, take the gaze up to the sky. Thank you. On the exhale, round in, tucking the tail, chin comes in towards the chest. Thank you, Stan. All right. This is how you can also use a blanket for your knees. Inhale, tilt the tail, take the gaze up. Exhale, round in. Continue. Inhaling as you extend. Exhaling as you round in. So remember, prop it up. Props are really there to help you and help support your body so that you can access the body, access your own body, access this practice to your own body. This practice is really meant to be for everybody. So continue warming up the spine. I'm already creating a little bit of heat, so I'm going to take my long sleeve off. Always in layers in the winter. Inhale, again, extending the spine. So just a few more breaths here. And then gently coming back to center. Let's shift the hips left and right. And then take them in a circular direction. Remember also, if this is uncomfortable on the wrists, you can also make fists to avoid more pressure on the wrists. Take it in the opposite direction. And then you can also use blocks to help keep some of that pressure off as well. So no set rules. However your body wants to access this practice is good, right? Because that's what we want. All right, so from here, come to center. I'm just going to gently remove this blanket for now. And let's extend that right leg long. You can press the toes into the floor and gently press the heels back. Inhale, lift that leg, bend the knees, circle the hip. And opposite direction. Let's extend that leg long. So we didn't circle the hips there for too long because we've already done that on our backs. All right, so let's bend the knee again. And then let's open up to the right side. You can flex the foot. Now, if you want to take this stretch a little more deeply, extending that left arm long and then reaching back for that foot as the hip opens. And then release, extending that leg back. And then gently bringing yourself back to table. Shift the hips left and right. And then let's come back to center and extend that left leg long. Rounding the toes, pressing the heel back. Shift forward, bend the knee, and a little circles. Again, you can stack the hip by opening up to that left side. And then if you want to take that quad stretch, extending that right leg and reaching, just taking a little stretch. Bring that arm back, extend that leg long, bring that leg back to table and realign yourself comfortably. All right, from here, let's bring those knees to the width of the mat. Take a little resting pose. Shift the hips back towards the heels. Extend the arms long. And lower the heart towards the mat. Grounding the third eye. Now, if there's any strain in the neck or the head, you can always rest your forehead on a block or a blanket. So remember that you can always roll up a blanket and rest this way as well. You can even do this in front of a chair and rest the head. All right, so from here, shift that left hip and right hip towards the heels, a little shift back and forth. Nice deep breaths. Then reach forward, tap the fingers, reach those wrists forward, shift those hips back towards the heels. Inhale, take the chin towards the chest, round in. Inhale, melt the heart towards the mat. Extend the arms long. Palms back down to the mat. Inhale, tent the fingers. Gently lift the forehead, take the chin towards the chest, round in. And then melt the heart back to the mat. Release the hands. Let's take that right arm underneath the left for a gentle shoulder stretch. And you can take that right arm underneath the left, and you can either rest it on your bicep or completely move it. So it all depends on the mobility of the shoulder. So don't feel like you're doing it wrong. And then on the next breath, let's release and opposite side. Again, remember, you can just rest your head on your arm or take the temple to the mat to open up the back of that left shoulder. Nice deep breaths. And then let's release. Extend both arms back in front of you. And this time, let's take that right cheek to the mat. And then let's bend the elbows and bring the elbows towards the width of the mat. Shift the hips back. And then take the head back to center. Take the left cheek to the mat. Nice deep breaths, filling the belly. And exhale. From here, gaze comes back to center, gently pressing back up. Knees come back to center. And let's take a downward facing dog. So coming back to tabletop, we're going to inhale, press those hips up towards the sky, take a downward facing dog, and begin to walk our dog, lifting one heel after the other. Press the heart towards the thighs. Lift the heels high, bend the knees, switch the gaze, lower the knees all the way down. Shift the hips back, uncurl the toes, extend the arms, and then walk the hands a little bit forward, coming into a puppy pose. Tent the fingers and shift the hips back. Take the gaze towards the mat. So feel that stretch right around the back of the rib cage, underarms, armpits, all the way through the fingertips. And then notice what it feels like when you draw those shoulders in. One more breath and walk the hands back towards the knees. Inhale, arms come up, lift the hips up, look up, reach back, and then exhale, lower everything down. Let's inhale that right arm up and over the right ear. Exhale, switch sides. Inhale, lower that left arm. And from here, arms come back up. Tap the hands. Exhale, lower the arms. Reach behind you. Take the gaze up to the sky as you reach behind you. Bring those shoulders back. Let's open up the heart space. Nice stretch in the front of the neck. Inhale, let's take a gentle hinge forward. Head come down to the mat. And you can lift the hips up if you'd like and take those arms off the back if you'd like, if that feels okay. Or you can not move the hips at all and just take the hinge. Shoulders back. Inhale, lift. Gaze comes back to center, then up towards the sky. Release the bind. Arms come back up and then gently lower back down. Come back to your tabletop. Curl the toes under. Lift the hips up. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. walking your dog. And then let's lift the heels, take a little hover as we bend the knees, switch the gaze between the hands, and then we're going to walk our feet to meet our hands, coming to a forward fold. Let's ragdoll here, allow the upper body to feel heavy. If this feels too intense on the flexors or feels like you're getting a little vertigo, gently lift the half lift to relieve any kind of dizziness if that feels uncomfortable. Otherwise, let your head feel heavy. Bring it all the way down. Let the arms dangle. Bend the knees as much as it feels good. And we haven't done Malasana in a while. So now remember, there's different varieties of Malasana in the sense that if you can't draw those hips all the way down, that's okay, good. Just go as far as it feels comfortable to you. So we're going to heel toe the feet out to the width of the mat. Toes are going to point outward. And then we're going to gently take those hips down and come into a squat. You can use a block to sit on if this is uncomfortable. And remember that blocks have different heights, so you can sit up or use a pillow or stack books. So this is Malasana. This is Malasana, a low squat, even though that's a little tougher without support. Take it as you may. You can even use a chair for support too. So I'm going to remove the block, bring my hips down, and then shift side to side. And then hands are going to come down, and I'm going to shift forward and back. A shift forward, coming and lifting the heels, shifting forward, shifting back, just to get some movement into those flexors. And then gently coming back down to your Malasana squat, lengthen through the crown, and breathe. On the next breath, hands come down, gently lifting the hips back up, heel toe the feet back to center, about hip distance apart, and forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. Exhale, plant the palms. We're going to lift that right leg high. Now you can use a block here. Now, I'm not the most flexible person, and you're never going to see me doing the splits here. My leg goes as high as it's going to go, and that's okay. Take it wherever it's going to go. Take the forehead towards the knee. Bend the knee. Bring that leg back. Forward fold. So don't think you have to be flexible. I've never been flexible. Inhale, hands on the shins, lengthen. Exhale, plant those palms. Take that right leg up just as far as you can, forehead towards the knee. And extend it or take a bend to it, whatever feels good to you. Bend the knee, bring it back. Feet together, forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, lengthen through the crown for your half lift. And then let's root to rise, come all the way up, reach up. Boy, that feels good. Palms together. Palms come to heart. And just take a moment here. Notice your heart. Inhale, palms up, reach back. Palms together, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, plant those palms, right foot steps back. Take a low lunge. Inhale, arms come up, reach back, and cactus arms. Gently reaching back up. Exhale, lower. Open up to that left side. Exhale, lower. Inhale, arms come up. Reach up. cactus arms. Inhale, reach up again, flip the palms, bracket that front foot, and open up to the left side. Drop that left hand. Let's take that right knee up, extend that left leg, forehead towards the knee. So just a little awareness. I have a block behind my right foot. That's another way that you can support the foot and heel. They also sell blocks that are wedges. So just a little side note. That is totally unintentional, but it actually does really support the leg and the foot, especially if you want a little base in the heel and have a hard time drawing that heel down. You can always shift the foot forward, of course. Inhale, shift forward, and then we're going to gently rise to a warrior one. So scoot that back foot, arms are going to come up. Warrior one. Beautiful. Let's open up to that left side, ground those feet in. Inhale, we're going to take that right arm up and over. Windmill the arms down. Back foot meets front. Forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. And then let's root to rise. Come all the way up. Palms touch. Palms come to heart. Inhale, palms rise. Separate the palms. Sit in your chair. Tuck the tail. Shift the weight to the heels. Lift the heart. Gaze forward. 2 more breaths here. Last breath. Hands come to touch and to the heart and forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, and then open up that left arm to the left side. Gently lower, and then gently forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. Exhale, plant the palms, left foot steps back. Let's take that low lunge. Inhale, arms come up. Reach back and cactus arms. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, flip the palms. Bracket that front foot, open up to the right side. Exhale, lower. Inhale, curl the toes under. Extend that front leg, forehead towards the knee. Inhale, come back, lower that leg. Inhale, arms come up and cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Bracket that front foot, open up to the right side. Exhale, lower. Inhale, arms come up, reach back, cactus arms. Inhale, reach back up, lower the arms, bracket that front foot, and open up once again to the right side. Exhale, lower. Once again, reach that forehead towards the knee as you lift that back knee and extend that front leg. Shift forward, back foot meets the front, forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. And then let's gently root to rise, come all the way back up. Palms touch and palms come to heart. Nice deep breaths. Inhale, palms together. Look up, reach back, and then take the gaze forward. Separate the hands. Sit in your chair, second set, Utkatasana. Shift the weight to the heels. Tuck the tail, lift the heart. Sit in your chair. Hands come back to touch and to the heart, forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. And from here, let's open up to the right side. That right arm's going to come open to the right side, gently lifting up, and then float it back down. Then one knee after the other. Inhale, hands on the shins. Exhale, plant the palms, both feet step back, take the knees down, lower all the way down to your bellies. Hands underneath the shoulders, chin to the mat. Inhale, tuck the elbows, press all 10 toes in and lift the heart. And gently lower. Doing that again, a nice deep breath in, lift the heart, slide the heart forward, shoulders back, press all 10 toes in and lift, and exhale, lower. All right, we're gonna lift everything off of the mat. So arms are gonna come by your side, chin to the mat, back strengthener here. On the inhale, everything's going to lift off the mat. Ready, set, inhale, lift. Legs lift, arms lift. Breathe. And lower. Take the left cheek to the mat. Just giving yourself a moment to breathe. And then let's bend the knees, windshield wiper left and right. Bring them back to center, lower, chin back to the mat. Nice deep breath in, and everything's going to lift. Legs lift, arms lift, and gently lower. Right cheek to the mat. Bend the knees, windshield wiper. And you can even circle, if that feels good. And then gently lower the legs back. Take the chin back to the mat, hands underneath the shoulders, and then bring the forearms forward. Sphinx pose. So let's take the legs wide. Let's take them to the edge of the mat and take a comfortable Sphinx pose. Nice deep breath in. Slide the heart forward. Tone the legs without clenching the buttocks. And you can gaze forward or take the eyes to the sky. And then I got something else for you. Lift the hands up, press the heart forward. Lower the hands down. And then from here, once again, slide the heart forward, hands up, shoulders back. Lower. Curl the toes under. Adjust the legs. Shift back and lift the hips up. Bring the knees a little higher so that we can shift into a downward. Well, it's a dolphin, but it's another variation of downward dog. And lift the hips high. Now, if this is uncomfortable, just placing the knees and shifting back does the same shoulder rotation. Pull the navel in, lift the heels, bend the knees. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. You're back to table. Curl the toes under, lift the hips, press back to down dog. And walk your dog. All right, let's walk the hands to meet the feet. Forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. Exhale, plant those palms. Walk the hands back. Let's come into a plank or modified plank. And then we're going to walk the hands back. What am I doing? We're just practicing this walk from flexion to extension. Lower the knees. Child's pose. So option for you to take the legs wide or to just take a direct child's pose. Shoulders can drape over the thighs if they're not wide to the mat. Then gently hands underneath the shoulders as we lift or walk the hands back.
Someone's at the front door doorbell.
Get it. Inhale, arms come up, look up, reach back, exhale, lower. Let's take the hips to one side, shift the legs around, and come to the middle of the mat. All right. Actually, let's extend the legs. Dandasana, arms by your side. Gently lift those heels up off the mat by pressing those calves in. Inhale, arms come up, reach up, and a gentle reach towards the feet. You don't have to touch the feet. I like to peace finger my toes, but I wasn't always there, so this works just fine. Just touching the shins, lengthening through the crown, maybe hinging a little bit more. And release. Take that right sole of the foot into the inner left thigh. So you have a beautiful L shape with the body. Inhale, arms come up with the legs and turn towards that left thigh. Keep that left foot flexed and reach for that left foot. On the inhale, lengthen and gentle hinge over. So again, remember, it could just be a matter of just taking that little bow. If you have your foot bound, inhale, lengthen, and bend the elbows, bring the forehead towards the knee. Drop that right shoulder down and release. Arms come up, can come down if you want to switch sides that way or stay up. Reposition your legs, left sole of the foot to the right thigh, flex that right foot, turn towards that right thigh, and reach. Lengthen through the crown on the in-breath. Exhale, hinge. Drop that left shoulder down. And release. Arms stretch up. Float the arms down. Release that left leg. Arms can come behind you. Bend the knees. Windshield wiper. An option here to bring in one knee after the other, getting into the hip mobility. Or windshield wiper back and forth. Okay, so let's bring the feet back to the mat. And let's take ourselves back down to the mat. So I'm going to gently come back down to my back. I think I moved. There we go. And then rock side to side. Legs up to the sky. And you can take your arms to a cactus arm, or you can extend them long to a T. And then we're going to separate the feet and cycle. You can bring your arms by your side if that feels better. And take it in the back. Take it backwards. Forwards. All right, let's take the hands to the front of the knees and a little rock side to side, or find your happy baby. So happy baby, either reaching to the outsides of the feet or peace finger your toes. And find your happy place. Release. Bring the soles of the feet back to the mat. And then gently windshield wiper, take the arms to a half T. Float the knees to the left side. Take the gaze over to the right side. Maybe that left ankle to the top of the right thigh. Last breath here, come back to center, releasing that left leg and windshield wiper back and forth. Knees drop to the right side, maybe that right ankle to the top of the left thigh. Gaze goes over to the left. Then gently coming back to center and releasing windshield wiper back and forth. Extend the legs long, full body stretch. Knees tight to the chest. Rock side to side, a little squeeze in. And then any final movements that you would like to add. To finally come down to Shavasana, to your final resting pose. Allow the arms to gently fall by the side of your body, palms up. And find your breath. Let the body feel heavy. Feel fully supported from your feet all the way up to your head. Find your stillness. Shavasana. Now you can stay here as long as you'd like. Or you can finish class with me, gently bringing yourself back into this space, wiggling the toes and the fingers, and rolling over to your right side, cradling your head, bending your knees, taking a nice deep breath. And when you're ready, gently walking your hands back up to seated and joining me back in seated position, hands with the heart at the heart center, eyes soft or closed. I want to take a moment here to express my gratitude for those tuning in and for those who this practice brings so much more than just movement. Remembering that this practice, you are so powerful through this practice, especially when you are the calm within the chaos. Join me in bringing our prayer hands to our third eye as a reminder to think kind thoughts, to our lips to speak kind words, and back to our hearts to always remember to be heart-led and divinely guided through our thoughts, words, and actions